Evaluate. Use the values for A, B, and C in the expressions below, then use order of operations to find the answer. So what I'm going to do is anywhere I see these letters, I'm going to replace A with a 2, B with a 1/2, and C with a 5. So A, we said was 2, C is 5, and B is a 1/2. So now order of operations, PEMDAS, start with your parentheses. So I'm going to bring down everything else. I'm going to evaluate in here. 2 divided by 1/2 is 4. Then, next order of operations, you do exponents. I'm going to do 5 squared, which is 25. Now I only have 2 things left, and multiplication comes before subtraction. So I'm going to multiply first. And then 2 minus 100 is negative 98. Again, plug in, same exact numbers. C, we said was 5. A is 2. B is a 1/2. C is 5. A is 2. All right, now first thing, we do parentheses. So I can do this parentheses over here because it's kind of all by itself. So I can change this to a 7. But over here, we've got parentheses inside parentheses. These brackets we kind of count as parentheses as well. So I would do you start on the inside if there's parentheses inside parentheses. And in here, I would do this inside piece first. No, but inside I wouldn't add first because there's an exponent. So I'd have to do 2 cubed, which is really just 2 times 2 times 2, which would be 8. So this is really 5 plus 8, which would be 13. And now I can do the other piece inside this bracket. So this would be 7 minus a negative 1/2 times 13 would be negative 6. Now I got this double negative here. Minus a negative is really plus. So 7 plus 6.5 would be 13.5. Again, plug in. A is 2. B is a 1/2. Ooh, that should be just a minus, not a equals. C is 5. And again, B is a 1/2 and A is 2. Again, start with your parentheses. So 1/2 times 2 is just 1. I'm going to do my exponent. And 1/2 squared is a 1/4. Now, I only have subtraction and addition left. They are all on the same level. So you just go left to right. So I would do 2 minus a 1/4 first, which would be, I'm going to change this to a decimal, 1.75. Then I can do the addition, so 1.75 plus 5. And then I can subtract my 1. So final answer, 5.75. Multiple choice. Number 4, in scientific notation, 54 million can be expressed as, right off the bat, I know I'm either going to have either 1 or 4, because when you change something to scientific notation, you should only ever have one number, one digit to the left of your decimal point. 2 and 3, the decimal point's off to the end there, so we're not going to use those. So if I move it, I moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. So that would be choice 4. A 12-ounce can costs $6.25. How much does each ounce cost? Per ounce, really all you're doing is taking the cost, $6.25, and dividing it by your number of ounces, 12.5. You get 0.5, which is 50 cents, choice 1. How many teaspoons are in 3 cups? Well, 1, you need to know how many teaspoons are in 1 cup, and there are 48 teaspoons in a cup, so you just do 48 times 3, and you get 144 teaspoons. Number 7. The length of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is 20 centimeters and the length of one leg is 12 centimeters. Use Pythagorean's theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to find the length of the other leg. So if you plug in, we can kind of just do this off to the side. The legs are A and B. So I'm going to plug that 12 centimeters in, and I'll leave B. And the hypotenuse is always plugged in for C. So again, order of operations, do your squareds first. So 144 plus B squared equals 400. To solve for B, subtract 144. B squared equals 156. And then to get rid of that squared, use square root. And the square root of 156 is 16, choice 3. When Sharon sold a vacuum cleaner for $220, she received a commission of $17.60. What was the percent of commission? You can set up a proportion for this, because we're talking about percents. So remember, it's the one with the 100, and so the percent is always over the 100, and then the part over whole is your other fraction. So her part, her commission, was $17.60. The whole is the entire sale, which would be the $220. And if you cross multiply this, you would get 1,760 equals 220 x, and then to solve for x, just divide by 220. And x equals, you can use your calculator to type this in, you would get 80. Nope, I lied. 1760 divide by 220. I divided by 22. You get 8%. Number 9, graph the following linear equation on the graph below. You need to remember linear equations. Y equals mx plus b. Remember, m is your slope, b is your y-intercept. So you should have started at the y-intercept. So I went down to -3 on my y-axis, and my slope is just 2. But we always want to be a fraction, so I'm going to put it over 1 to turn it into a fraction. So, and it's positive, so I'm going to go up 2 over 1. Up 2 over 1. I'm just going to do as many dots as I can fix. The more dots you have, the more accurate your line is going to be. And then use my ruler. I'm going to use some sort of straight edge, because by definition a line is straight to connect, and I'm going to put arrows as well. Number 10, in Algebra 1, what assignments will be accepted late? Weekend assignments, nightly homeworks, take-home quizzes, or nothing? Nothing. You have to have everything in by its due date. Every week you will be given a weekend assignment on Wednesday. When are the weekend assignments due? Mondays. And again, they are not taken late, so make sure you have them. 12, where can you locate extra copies of the weekend assignments? Either in the bulletin board in the back of the room, binder in the front of the classroom, or the website. Choice 3. You can find them either in the bulletin board in the back, or go to my website and you can print off an extra copy. And last but not least, list 3 items you will need for this class. 1, you need a graphing calculator. You also will need a binder specifically for math, preferably 1.5 to 2 inches to keep track of all of your notes. You will also need graph paper for when we do our graphing units.